All right, I have to speak kind of low because it's early in the morning right now and I don't want to wake anybody up. So I apologize if I am lower than usual, like lower than the ads. I know they're going to pop up and scare you. I'm sorry. Also, I'm not being held hostage. I know this looks like a liminal space here with all these angles and this weird. I'm fine, I promise. But guys, just please watch the whole video. And I'm not talking about this one. I mean, I'm not just talking about this one. Obviously, I want you to watch this one. I mean, any video that you watch on YouTube, just watch through the video, please, before you comment. I'm not going to be using any like screenshots or trying to call people out in this. I'm just going to be referring to my last video that I just made. So my last video, the title was, "This is just internet drama. It's not actually real," with quotation marks around it. That is important. Punctuation is important. And for me, the thing is, it was fairly obvious what I was trying to do with that title and with the video. So while posting this, I thought it was very obvious what I was trying to get across because obviously I'm the one creating it. I know what I have in mind for the video. But I go down and read the comments, and for like the first few hours, the comments have been like the exact opposite of what I was trying to talk about in that video. So normally in my videos, if you've been watching for a while, what I'm actively trying to do is take a very commonly used argument and counter it. There's been so many times where I take, arguments that you hear a bunch of times over and over again, and then I counter them, I dissect them, I wonder, where's the validity in that argument and the logic? Because when you hear it over and over and over again, you begin not to question it, you just take it as fact. I don't try to dismiss the argument entirely because there is some validity in the argument. It's just to find out which parts are valid and which parts are not. But that last video was me doing that. It was a counter argument to a very common argument that you hear, the title of the video. Most of the times when things happen on the internet, the first thing that people are instinctively inclined to do or say or think is, this is just drama, it's not real, whatever, it's just on the internet, or it's just on social media, it doesn't really matter all that much. And I, once again, found some issues with some of the logic being used in this case. And I think we've gotten so comfortable with saying stuff like that we completely dismiss anything that happens on the internet as if it just literally isn't an extension at all of real life. So I thought about it and I made a video about it. And the point of putting the name of the title in quotation marks was to signify it's something that is commonly said. But again, this may not have been clear to other people, obviously, or I was not very clear with my intentions. That a lot of the comments on that video was actually going on a rant and agreeing with me as if I was making the actual argument that things on the internet are just drama and not real. Several people had gone down there and was like, oh my gosh, finally someone said it. Oh my gosh, thank you for covering this. Every time I go on YouTube, it's like everything's just drama. Like none of it is real. I'm like, that wasn't the point of my video. It's obvious that these people did not actually watch the video. They just saw the title and the thumbnail, which I'm looking back at it and it does look like I am in support of what I'm trying to say. Again, it seemed misleading. That was not intentional. There was a time that it was intentional, that I framed my video a certain way. I'll get to that in a second. But this was not this video. I thought it was very clear what the point I was trying to make. It was not. But so many comments down there were commenting and agreeing with me, not on the point I was actually making, but on the point they thought I was making. Because they, once again, clearly did not actually watch the video. The whole point was to counter that argument, the argument that I put in quotations, while agreeing with certain aspects of it and certain things of it. Because again, yes, things on the internet are overblown, out of proportion. That's what I talked about in the later section towards the end of my video, where I don't think everything is invalid or valid or true feelings, but more so things are just heavily exaggerated because of things like herd mentality and just influence from so many other people. And like I just said earlier, with things like argument, you hear it enough times, you begin to believe it and think it's just a fact. So that's kind of what happens on the internet. But I don't necessarily think it's fair to say that things on the internet are just drama, it's not happening and it doesn't matter, because we've had several real instances of things happening on the internet that affect real people in real lives every day. So anyways, that was the point of the video. But like I said, when people went down there to comment, it was clear that they did not actually watch the video and they just saw the title and thought I was validating one of their beliefs and one of their arguments they constantly use, and then commented agreeing with me. And this is why I just want to make this quick rant, because you see this all the time, right? And not just with agreeing. It's like I have people who won't watch the video but will just, throw a hate comment down there or type out a big essay about, oh, well, this, that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, all you had to do was watch like 2 minutes later into the video and I literally would have explained everything that you just spent 5 hours explaining. Most of the time, I am trying my best to visualize what all these different arguments and points are that people are going to make, and I talk about them in the video. So chances are, if you have an idea for a whole MLA format essay about the type of the comments because you're mad that I said something, I'm going to address that if you just wait like a few minutes. So I've gotten several, comments that write out a whole story or get upset about something and then they don't watch through the video and it's like they explain something I just explained. I had that happen so much for my Japan You Don't Care About Japan video. That video, I expected people to get triggered by that. I did not expect the reasons they would get triggered. Reading through some of those comments was actually concerning. But there was like several people who were just going on these angry rants. I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, hold on, I said that. I actually said all of that right there. They gave me a whole... Anyways, several times. I've had several times people don't watch the video, they get mad, they comment something that I literally talked about in the video, right? I've had it happen a million times before. That's not uncommon. What I'm starting to see more of is people who don't watch the video but think I'm agreeing with them and their logic and their argument and then just believing that's what the video is about and then commenting about how I'm, validating their argument when that's not the case. I believe that that is somewhat even more dangerous than just the ignorance of being mad and not watching the video and commenting something because you're mad about it. Because you're coming to my video thinking that I am saying what you're trying to say when I might not be, which again is what happened in my last video. That's why it's important to actually watch the video to get full context. You need to fully understand what it is that I'm trying to say before you confidently say something in the comment section as if I'm actually agreeing with you. Because when you get down to it, okay, when you truly get down to what we're trying to do when we make these little video essays, commentary videos, whatever you want to call them, they are for entertainment purposes. Okay, and this is one of the, I'm gonna make a whole video on people who like say certain things about video essays, obviously because I am in this space and domain, and I don't mind criticisms. There are a lot of really good criticisms against video essays that I actually agree with most of them, but it's the other ones that are just kind of shallow and they say it just to say it just because they want to fit a majority. You're obviously not coming here to actually learn, okay? These are for entertainment. You're not coming to my videos to actually learn about deep, in-depth psychology. None of you actually read the sources that are in my description. You have like an hour to kill and you have nothing else better to do and you saw my video. That's how that happened. Which I'm not complaining. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying this to say, when we present these videos, especially with our titles and thumbnails, they are supposed to be framed in a specific way that is going to catch your attention. If you remember from English class, just language arts, right? What did your English teacher always say when you had to write an essay? Write a good hook, right? Draw them in. That's what we're doing visually. That's what we're doing on with our video essays. It's the same deal. So you have to actually watch through the video or read through the essay or whatever it is to actually understand full context. You cannot just expect the title to give you exactly what you want. It's not supposed to do that. That would not be nearly as enticing, and you know that. You cannot rely on the title to give you full accuracy of the conversation. Because sometimes we will purposely frame it in a certain type of way because we know it'll get a certain reaction out of people. I have done this once before. So again, in my last video, that was not the intention at all. I thought my intentions were clear. I realized they were not. That's okay. However, in my video I made a while back about Disney, when they came out with Thunderbolts and Elio and stuff like that, and then they weren't doing that good, I titled the video something along the lines of, once again, in quotation marks. People say, we want original stories, in quotation marks, and then I put an asterisk, oh, we give them original stories. And then in quotation marks, oh, well, never mind, we don't want them anymore. That was the title, right? Again, still, I did not make a claim. I did not say anything of what I was trying to say, but I framed it in a specific way. In the thumbnail, I believe I put, are people being hypocritical or something like that. Again, that one was more an experiment on my part because I wanted to see how many people was going to get pissed off and write a whole angry comment in the comment section about how, oh, well, Disney just needs to make better films and it's not our fault and yada, 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 when I actually argued those things. In that comic section, that is exactly what I seen. And then you had other people also not watch the video, but think I'm agreeing with them and being like, oh, people are stupid for, being hypocritical and they should just watch the films because they keep complaining that they're not original. Both of them. I've seen both comments where no one actually watches the video. They look at the title, they assume, and then they write their comment. But if they actually watch through the video, they would understand that, yes, I do believe people are being hypocritical when they don't want to watch these films, but I think the hypocrisy is justified because when you go around giving people trash stuff for so long after they've been asking for good stuff and you finally give it to them, no one's gonna want to engage in it. Everybody found different movie companies that make better movies and aren't trying to waste their time on Disney movies. Nobody's gonna go pay money to go to the theater to watch Elio or something like that when Disney historically has not been doing well, when you have other really big movies right next door. So the whole thing was actually to take that argument, once again, the one that we keep seeing of, oh, people are just being ungrateful, and counter it just a little bit, not invalidate it entirely because it has validity to it, but explain it. I've also had this happen to a video that I made a while back. It was actually one of the first videos that hit like over 10K views. It was my race swapping video, the first one I've ever made. Why are people mad that characters are turning black? The same deal with that video in which I did not frame it in a specific way where I wanted it to sound misleading. That was just the title that came to mind. But once again, you go down there and you see a bunch of people getting all mad and pissy. It's like, oh, because it's racism and it's not fair and you shouldn't want it. Oh, you black people are entitled and you try to take. I'm like, did you not watch the? I was also against the race swapping. I'm tired of it. Many people are tired of it. And no, it has nothing to do with racism. I mean, okay, maybe for some people, yeah, obviously people are racist. But like, no, we just don't like that you're taking our skin color, slapping it on a white person, being like, there's your representation. You've got too many stories about, you know, African princesses and African American stories that you could tell. Or just have an original black character that doesn't have to be going through pain and strife and broken homes, daddy issues and gangs and stuff like that. We could just have a regular show or a regular movie just about a regular happy black person. But no, they don't do that. They make the remakes and then they slap a black face on top. And most of us can see through the BS. It's annoying. But again, if you didn't actually watch the video, you wouldn't know all that. You would read the title, get angry, and throw racist slurs at me. Another thing that the titles of the video and the thumbnail of the video can't also portray is nuance. Now, I know you hear that word a bunch of times, especially in the video essay space. And yes, maybe people throw it around sometimes just to sound smart. But in a space where you're talking about something that you have an opinion on, nuance is very important. Finding the subtle differences between your argument, other people's argument, how they connect, how they differ, that is important. I am a firm believer in the fact that there is absolutely nothing in this world that is as black and white as a lot of people try to make it. Everything is nuance because people are complicated. Okay, maybe not everything actually. There are certain things where I'm like, very firm on a certain stance, like, you know, certain crimes being committed. That leaves very little room for argument. But even with certain crimes like murder, crimes like stealing, even things like this can be justified, can be argued, can be like, okay, well, it's justifiable in this situation. Most things are not simply black or white. I know it makes it a little bit easier to see things that way, especially because we're biased creatures, but that's just not how reality works. I can't express nuance in my title of the video. I wish I could. I do it if they give me more characters to write with. There are certain times where I go over the limit and now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna reduce the words because I want to get everything that I want to say out in my title. I cannot fully explain to you what my argument is, why I'm arguing it, differences in other arguments and how they differ. I can't do all that in the title, so you just have to watch the video. When you write the titles, once again, they are just hooks. They're just trying to get you to click on the video to watch the video. When you actually watch it, 9 times out of 10 people are normally going to talk about all these nuances, all these different arguments, because it's important to do that. Because again, I don't truly believe any argument is completely invalid. I think some have just more logical flaws than others. The point is to take those flaws, address them, and then find the good parts of the argument. And this is something you can only really grasp if you actually watch through the whole video, because we may start in the beginning by saying something so strongly and then halfway through end up expressing something else. But you would never know because you didn't get that far, because you stopped at the part that you either liked or disliked, you commented, and you left. Just for the record, it's fine if you don't watch a video fully through, okay? I don't watch all the videos that I watch fully through. And really, at the end of the day, it's not even bad if you watch the video and comment it, but just do it with the hyper awareness that you don't know what's going on. One of my favorite things that people do actually is they'll timestamp, like as they're watching the video, and they'll comment and timestamp and have certain parts at the video where it's like, oh, okay, this part, da 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 da. I really like when people do that. I'm not saying you have to, of course. I'm just saying I really enjoy when people do that because it's almost like a mental diary. I get to see what their thoughts are in real time as they're watching the video, because then I get to see if their opinions change, if they end up countering one of my arguments, if they end up changing their mind on certain things that they thought, or they could even change my mind. Or sometimes I'll have people who address the fact that, okay, I didn't watch the video yet, but I just want to say this. Okay, that's fine. But just so like we know from the outside that you're not just blissfully ignorant and that you're actually trying to engage with the content in the video without blindly agreeing or disagreeing. Because the thing is, like, as much as the rule on YouTube and just other social media platforms is don't read the comment section, it's gonna hurt your feelings. Yeah, it will. Okay, I know that, but I've mentally prepared myself for that. I want to read the comments. I want to talk to you guys. I want to engage with you guys. There are so many of you who give me or bring up really good points that agree with me or that disagree with me. In my last video, social media drama and stuff like that, I went on a tangent about like rich people and the expectation that they have to give money out of their pockets and stuff like that. Now, I didn't agree with that thought process. And somebody wrote me a very well-written comment under that, expressing their disagreements to my sentiments and giving really good reasons as to why. They changed my mind on my argument. And that's great. I love that. That's what I want. Of course, I want you to agree with me, okay? Because everybody likes to be validated. I'm going to get to that in a second. Everyone wants to feel like they're right. So naturally, of course, I'm going to feel good if you watch my video and you agree with me. But I also understand that humans have different thought processes. So not everyone is going to agree with me. That's okay. But I like to see where your head is going, where your thought process is, where your logic is, where your argument is. And you can't do that unless you watch the videos to understand what I'm saying. Because that is the point of like an argumentative essay or whatever. Like you're arguing your point and you have people who may counter those points. That's the point of this type of content. It's not supposed to be super educational and super smart sounding or whatever. At the end of the day, this is just entertainment and you know that. So when you do this, we're gonna have people who agree and disagree. But you can't do that unless you understand the full context of the argument of what the person is trying to say. Which leads me to the point of another fact, of another criticism that I will see against video essays. People are always like, oh, people will just say the same thing with video essays. Like everyone's scared to have an original opinion, right? Again, I'm gonna make a whole entire video about these types of comments. But first of all, I expressed in my last video how the whole no original opinion is just, it doesn't make sense in itself because there's no such thing as having a real original opinion. Every opinion that you have came from somewhere else. It came from something that you saw. It was inspired, it was validated by something else. So it is very almost impossible to have an original thought or an original opinion. That's number one. Number two, you say that, but then you'll watch a video and then project certain arguments onto it from the title, think that I'm validating you, and then comment. You comment thinking that I'm validating you in your argument, which again leads me to believe that you're not actually watching these types of videos to gain, different insight. At the end of the day, we all like to hear what we want to hear. We all watch people who validate the opinions that we have, especially if it's in the video essay commentary space where there's a lot of opinions being projected. If I went and checked your subscriptions right now, or anybody's subscriptions, which in certain people that you can actually do in the comment section, if they have their subscription viewed to the public, you can actually click on them and scroll through and see the type of people that they're looking at. And whenever I've done that, you normally see a specific type of people talking about a specific type of thing that they're all subscribed to. They all most likely have the same beliefs, the same opinions, the same thought process. They're similar. They're not the same, but they are similar, which makes sense because we like to categorize things based off of what we like and where our biases are. So ultimately, when a lot of you are coming to watch these videos or coming to view what the video is about, you're going there with the expectation and the hope that I validate your bias, which is why people will read the title, not watch the video, and then comment about how, yeah, you're right, even though they haven't watched the video, because they are inclined to believe that you are simply validating what they want to hear. And again, that's fine. That's how we all operate. But just don't make it seem like you're trying to be some high IQ intellectual when at the end of the day, you're just like all of us and you're going to places where you feel like you're going to be validated. The point I'm trying to make is of this video, and again, a point I feel like we all subconsciously know we're supposed to do, but we don't actually put it in practice. Just watch the video. If you don't want to watch the video and you want to comment, sure, but just like specify that you didn't watch the video, please, because it is such a waste of time for me to want to sit here and again engage with you, because that's what I want to do. I want to talk to you guys. I want to comment and like explain myself, but then I just realized this person just didn't even take the effort or time to actually go through the video. They looked at the thumbnail, took everything they needed to take, got angry or got excited, and then commented and left. I understand that once again, a lot of you are just watching these types of videos for entertainment. I get that. I understand that. I love that. There's nothing wrong with that. I do the same thing. But you still have to have some level of mental awareness when you go into things that are opinionated. With things that aren't opinionated, sure, you can turn your brain off and just enjoy. Like I said, I love doing that with certain YouTubers who are just more the fun video type. But with videos that are video essay style-ish, don't be so fast just to think and assume that you know what the video is about just from the title. Actually watch the video, get through the whole video, because the first 5 minutes isn't going to tell you everything you need about it, and then comment. Don't watch the first 2 minutes, agree with me or disagree with me, even though you really don't even know what my argument is or where I stand, and then just dip. It's just not good for your thought process either, because again, you're just going to be assuming things that may not actually be true, and then you're going to carry that process throughout the way that you handle any type of information that you receive, that you're automatically going to be biased to believe whatever you want to believe instead of actually gaining the content, the core content of whatever it is that you're watching, reading, the information that you're taking in. As I said in my last video, there is a lot of misinformation on the internet, right? On social media, on everywhere. So taking things for what they are is not that good of an idea. So you actually have to filter through the information instead of just taking it at face value, okay? Again, not only is that just dangerous for the way that you go around consuming information, but it's also just frustrating for me as a creator. It's just a little annoying because like I said, I want to engage with you guys, but then every now and then I find a person who isn't actually engaging with content. Just please watch the video. That's all I'm asking. Watch through the whole video, then comment, or comment and let me know that you didn't watch the video, or make timestamp comments. Again, I think those are really cool, like mental diary comments. Sure, I don't care if you agree with me or disagree with me, okay? I had that misunderstanding pop up in my nonchalant video of what I said in the very beginning. I can't remember exactly what it was I said. People mistaken that for me being like, oh, if you watch this and you disagree with me, then you need to leave. No, that's not what I'm saying. I've had plenty of people who watch things and disagree with me and bring up really good conversation. I would prefer you watch the video, disagree with me, and tell me why, than to not watch the video, agree with me, and move on. But I want people to watch the whole video. That's what I would want. Watch through it, then disagree with me, or then agree with me. That makes for easier engagement on my part, and also I'm able to converse with you guys, share ideas and opinions and arguments with you guys. That is ultimately why I chose this space to begin with. But I can only get insightful comments if you actually watch the video. So please, this goes for, again, my videos, all types of videos. This goes for my subscribers too. Again, like I know a lot of you guys are inclined to just nod your head to everything I say because you're subscribed to me. And like, I appreciate you and your views and stuff like that. But do not think that you have to agree with everything I say just because you're subscribed to me. Disagree, it's okay. Or agree and tell me why. It's okay. Just be a little bit more mindful about how you're consuming content and information and how you go about analyzing that information. But don't do it blindly because it's not just going to stop at social media or the internet or YouTube comments or whatever. You'll bring it into your everyday life. And that is a dangerous way to live in this complex world that we live in, to take things so shallow and surface level and just take that at face value for what it is. Understand the full context, give it a little bit more thought, then make your comments on it whether you agree or disagree. That's all I ask, okay? That'll make it a whole lot better for me as a creator to engage with you guys. It'll make it a lot better for you in the way that you consume information. So, you know, we're both winning here, okay? All right, I'm done yapping. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.